broadcasting live on the UnitedWest.org AM radio network, simulcasting on DirecTV, iHeartRadio, Roku, and the World Wide Web. This is Enemies of the State with Tom Trento.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Enemies of the State. My name is not Tom Trento. It is Damon Rosen, and I am filling in for our intrepid leader who is still away on special assignment. It is Tuesday, July 14th, a day, unfortunately, that will live in infamy.
Today, because America negotiated from a position of strength and principle, we have stopped the spread of nuclear weapons in this region. Because of this deal, the international community will be able to verify that the Islamic Republic of Iran will not develop a nuclear weapon. This deal meets every single one of the bottom lines that we established when we achieved a framework earlier this spring.
Liar.
Every pathway to a nuclear weapon is cut off.
Liar.
And the inspection and transparency regime necessary to verify that objective will be put in place.
Liar.
Because of this deal, Iran will not produce the highly enriched uranium and weapons-grade plutonium that form the raw materials necessary for a nuclear bomb.
Liar.
Because of this deal, Iran will remove 2/3 of its installed centrifuges.
Liar.
The machines necessary to produce highly enriched uranium for a bomb.
Lie.
And store them under constant international supervision.
Lie.
Huge lie.
Iran will not use its advanced centrifuges to produce enriched uranium for the next decade.
Bullshit.
Lie.
BS.
Iran will also get rid of 98% of its stockpile of enriched uranium.
No, it won't.
Lie.
To put that in perspective, Iran currently has a stockpile that could produce up to 10 nuclear weapons.
Yes, it
Because
does.
of this
Stop it right there. Stop it right there. Mark, did he just say they currently have enough stockpiled for 10 nuclear bombs?
Weapons.
I thought they didn't have enough
anything
for a nuclear bomb.
I didn't have anything. Oh, where did this revelation?
How did this happen all of a sudden? Let her keep playing.
stockpile will be reduced to a fraction of what would be required for a single weapon.
Oh, the non-existent stockpile that never existed before now suddenly is there. It's going to be reduced?
For
Come
10
on.
bombs. They currently had enough for 10 bombs, whereas I thought they didn't have enough for one. But go on, let this liar keep lying to
The
us.
stockpile limitation will last for 15 years. Because of this deal, Iran will modify the core of its reactor in Iraq so that it will not produce weapons-grade plutonium.
Liar.
And it has agreed to ship the spent fuel from the reactor out of the country for the lifetime of the reactor.
BS.
For at least the next 15 years, Iran will not build any new heavy water reactors. Because
No, what about the ones they already have?
No, nothing going on there, Mark.
of this deal, we will, for the first time, be in a position to verify all of these commitments.
Total bull.
That means this deal is not built on trust. It is built on verification.
Liar.
Inspectors will have 24/7 access to Iran's key
Stop
nuclear...
it right
no,
there.
all right.
24/7 access based on a 2-week notice, from what I understand from talking to Dr. Andy Bostom this morning, who will be on tomorrow's show, Enemies of the State. Let's listen to another minute or two of this, and then we'll get into...
I'm going to Ralph.
We'll get into the show,
Come
but
on.
let's just
This
listen
is
to this
one
lying
lie.
piece of
You know,
filth lie to us.
If you thought you like your doctor, you can keep it was a lie, give me a break. This is such a huge lie.
facilities. Iran will have access to Iran's entire nuclear supply chain,
No, it won't.
its uranium mines and mills, its conversion facility, and its centrifuge manufacturing and storage facilities. This ensures that Iran will not be able to divert materials from known facilities to covert ones.
Not true.
Some of these transparency measures will be in place for 25 years. Because of this deal, inspectors will also be able to access any suspicious location.
With
Not
2 weeks'
true.
notice.
Not true.
Put simply, the organization responsible for the inspections, the IAEA,
So
will have
trustable.
access where necessary, when necessary.
Lie.
That arrangement is permanent.
No, it's not.
And the
Doesn't even
IAEA
exist.
has also reached an agreement with Iran to get access that it needs to complete its investigation into the possible military dimensions of Iran's past nuclear research.
Possible.
Finally, Iran is permanently prohibited from pursuing a nuclear weapon under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty.
Because they've abided by everything so far. They're such truth tellers that they weren't violating the interim agreement up until the very day of signing a permanent agreement. They've been lying to us and breaking the terms of the interim agreement the whole time. But this is based on verification. Okay, let this liar finish up and then we'll get on with our show after I vomit in my mouth.
Which provided the basis for the international community's efforts to apply pressure on Iran. As Iran takes steps to implement this deal, it will receive relief from the sanctions that we put in place because of Iran's nuclear program.
From day one.
Both America's own sanctions and sanctions imposed by the United Nations Security Council. This relief will be phased in.
Lie.
Iran must complete key nuclear steps before it begins to receive new sanctions relief.
That's not true.
And over the course of
That's
the next
not what
decade,
the Iranians are saying.
Iran must abide by the deal before additional sanctions are lifted, including 5 years for restrictions related to arms and 8 years for restrictions related to ballistic missiles. All of this will be memorialized and endorsed in a new United Nations Security Council resolution.
Mark, flip that.
And if Iran violates the deal, all these sanctions will snap back into place. So there's a very clear incentive for Iran to follow through.
Yeah.
And there are very real consequences for a violation.
Does this deal sound familiar to this deal, the Gitmo detainees swap? None of these guys are going to return to terrorism. Excuse me, one of them already has. This is the same exact bad deal as was with Bergdahl.
Mark has the slide up on the screen where earlier this year we traded, was that earlier this year or was that last year?
I think it was the beginning of last year.
Whatever. When we swapped the 5 serious terrorists from Guantanamo Bay. Guys that someone we know personally helped put in Guantanamo Bay told us that these are serious, serious, serious bad guys. The 5 on the screen right now were traded for one deserter, Bo Bergdahl. And Mark is making the comparison that it's another bad Obama deal.
I mean, do you want this guy selling your house? Jeez, oh man. What do we get out of this, Damon? What do we get out of this deal?
What do we get, Mark? What do we get?
Nothing.
We get John Kerry gets to go and put his name on the list for hopeful recipients of the Nobel Peace Prize, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
And which would rate right up there with Yasser Arafat's Nobel Peace Prize, the validity of that, or for that matter, Barack Hussein Obama's Peace Prize that he gained before he even served as president. But who cares? What do results matter anyway? What does actually negotiating and coming out even to a head have to do when we could just give the Iranians everything?
Yeah, we could.
For the entire process, they kept coming back to the table and demanding more. We gave up more every single time. The deal that was put in place and signed today has absolutely no teeth. We're going to talk about this probably the entire second half of the show today. We're also going to have
we want to get Tom's
and we're going to have Tom's comments on it. We're going to get to some of the other stories. Let's do a quick station ID, which I should have done earlier. You're listening to 740 WSBR Radio in sunny South Florida. You're also listening, if it is midnight to 1 a.m. Eastern Time, you're listening to Red State Talk Radio. Go to redstatetalkradio.com. We're in Studio B from 12 o'clock midnight on Monday through Fridays, 12 to 1, and WSBR 7:44 p.m. to 5 p.m. It's about 4:14 right now, 1:14 Pacific, and 6:14 in Melbourne, if anyone is listening there. Before we come back to Iran, I want to cover another couple of stories that it was really what the show was going to be had the deal not get signed today. Let's pick up with one of the topics, Mark, if you'll come to my screen.
Got it.
Yesterday we were talking about the Donald. And we were talking about El Chapo Guzman, the Sinaloan drug cartel king who escaped prison from a max security facility in Mexico.
Well, he didn't exactly escape. They
Saturday.
dug a 1 mile tunnel to get to him. A 1 mile tunnel to get to, and talk. It's incredible, the story. They dug a 1 mile, folks, a 1 mile tunnel to get to him. This guy's got billions of dollars.
You would think that Hamas helped them build it.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't surprise because they are experts at building tunnels, as we highlighted many times in our show, and they've run. This guy, to give you an idea how bad this guy is, he was responsible for half of the drugs coming into the United States. Ran all of it.
Well, yesterday we covered the story and we said, if you're El Chapo, where do you want to go to? Where can I be safe? And we said, jokingly, San Francisco, because San Francisco doesn't arrest illegal immigrant felons. So that would be his safest spot. Well, folks, everyone is aware of Donald Trump and his stance on immigration, particularly our southern border. Well, El Chapo Guzman doesn't really like what the Donald has to say. And on his son's Twitter account, he has been threatening the Donald. Escaped Mexican drug lord allegedly threatens Donald Trump. If you keep pissing me off, and there you have it. So El Chapo Guzman is now even in on the ire over the Donald and his what he would do if elected president and how he would treat the southern borders. Now, that's not the only thing news out of Mexico concerning the Donald. There's also a little bit of fun stuff going on. Because the whole show is not going to be doom and gloom on Iran today. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Hit me right here on this screen.
Yeah.
Trump piñatas go on sale in Mexico. Mark, I'm sure you've been to a party or two when you were a kid. It might be a while ago.
I would like a couple Trump piñatas, actually.
But you used to, I am sure that you at some point in your life were at a party where they had piñatas. Look anything like this?
No.
Oh my goodness. Here's a woman carrying one down the street right here.
Piñata.
And it looks pretty good. I mean, they definitely have the hair close. It's not perfect, but it's close. So there's a little news concerning the Donald, Mexico, and El Chapo Guzman. It all circles back around, folks, just like everything we talk about really circles back around, including Mark.
Yes.
What city in the northeast of this country has been in the news way too much the last couple years when it comes to jihadis?
You mean the area that has nothing to do with Islamic extremism that our White House is saying there's no connection to?
No,
not
and the
one in
state
Boston?
attorney, I believe, that you had that video.
Yeah.
Come to my screen real quick. Son of Boston police captain arrested as possible terrorist. Son of Boston police captain arrested as possible terrorist.
Nothing to do with Islam, David.
Nothing to do with Islam.
Or the Boston Mosque up there that.
Yeah. Here is his father right here. This is the Boston police captain right there, who is, these are the guns this kid purchased. That looks like 2 Glock semi-automatic handguns and 2 looks like AR-15s on your screen right now. But he's just a possible terrorist. Here's his house being searched right here. And here is the little winner himself.
In a peace walk.
And some kind of peace walk. It's absolutely unbelievable. Yet, right here, see this piece of crime scene tape? Tom showed it to you guys before. That is crime scene tape from the jihadi that was shot by local and FBI officials for the guy, I was going to say gentleman, but he's far from a gentleman, that wanted to behead Pamela Geller and then decided that he was going to just go, quote, after the boys in blue, meaning law enforcement. He was approached outside of a CVS in the Boston area. And he was shot and killed right there. And we were up there. Alan Kornman, our guy in Orlando, and myself went up to Boston. Did a little terror tour. Went to the Islamic Society of Boston, the Islamic Society of Boston Cultural Center. 2 jihadi factories. And so is anyone shocked that you have another jihadi up
now,
there?
Understanding this guy where Damon's got the crime scene tape from, who was shot by Boston police, okay, was planning a terror attack. One of his planning terror attacks was for July 4th. He was talking about that. Plus, this other guy who was arrested just the other day, the son of the police chief, was also planning attack for 4th of July.
Yeah. Well, let me read you a little bit out of the story. And this is out of ABC News. Certainly no bastion of right-wing conspiracy theories, right? We could all agree, ABC News.
Yeah, right.
The estranged son of a respected Boston police captain was arrested July 4th by FBI agents as part of a counterterrorism operation against alleged ISIS-inspired domestic terrorists. Alexander Chicolo, 23, of Adams, Massachusetts, was taken into custody on gun charges after buying 2 pistols and 2 rifles, which we just showed you, from an undercover FBI confidential informant. Federal officials said in a search of his apartment, officials reported they found it loaded with possible bomb-making equipment, including a pressure cooker,
Oh, is that
a variety of chemicals, an alarm clock, along with attack planning papers and jihad paperwork. FBI agents said he used the name Abu Ali al-Amriki.
Nothing to do with this.
That's not an Irish name, is it? Abu Ali al-Amriki. And neighbors said he was a recent convert to...
Mormonism.
Nope, Islam.
Oh, really? Damn. I was thought I'd get that.
Federal official goes on to say this is a very bad person arrested before he could do very bad things. Excuse me. According to the FBI, Chicolo attempted to stab a nurse in the head with a pen during a routine screening, leaving a hole in the nurse's skin. An FBI affidavit said Chicolo initially planned to travel to another state and use a pressure cooker bomb to conduct terrorist attacks on civilians, members of the U.S. military, and law enforcement personnel, and would be concentrated on college dorms and cafeteria to include executions of students, which would be broadcast live via the internet.
Oh, God.
Chicolo's father is Boston Police Captain Robert Chicolo, a veteran commander assigned to operations at Boston Police Headquarters, who was one of those to respond to the deadly Boston Marathon bombing in April 2013. This guy was going to try and do something that actually was bigger and more deadly in scope than the Boston Marathon bombings of the Tsarnaev brothers that were regulars at the Islamic Society of Boston.
Hey, Damon, I got the clip here. Just to put everybody's mind at ease, I do have this clip. Here we go.
Go.
There was nothing, as you heard Judge O'Toole say in the courtroom, there was nothing about this crime that was Islam associated. And so that's what I was struck by more.
How can you say there was nothing religious motivated this crime, given all of the references to Allah, to Muhammad, to the Quran? It's been made by him and his brother throughout this entire deal.
That is a skewed view of the religion of Islam.
Oh,
that
my.
is not what Islam is all about. And so when individuals
Carmen
utilize that,
Otis,
it is a
U.S. attorney.
radicalized view of that ideology. It's a radical ideology which really isn't at the heart of what is truly a peaceful and loving religion.
What the hell is she talking about? The radical ideology is Islam itself. What these terrorists are not doing, listen, the Islamic State and every other Islamic terrorist group can show you chapter and verse where they are quoting the Quran in order to fulfill their violent, what's turned from defensive really into offensive jihad. They're citing chapter and verse. Can this attorney general, or whatever she was, prosecutor Ortiz, show me in the Quran that Islam does not teach death and destruction of
you're just a
non-believers.
hater, David.
I'm very curious where she can go into a Quran and show me those things, because the Islamic State and everyone else cites them every single day as they blow people up and chop people's heads off.
Understanding that this was a prosecuting attorney of the Boston bombing. This is the one, and that's the insanity, the insane world we live in today. The complete denial, the willful blindness. This is willful blindness, as Andrew McCarthy said.
Yep. I just want to finish one or two more sentences from the son of the Boston police captain. According to FBI affidavit, Chicolo posted a photo of a dead American soldier and wrote, quote, "Thank you, Islamic State. Now we won't have to deal with these kafir back in America."
Nothing to do with Islam. Why? How can you not see this?
Kafir is a reference to non-believers of Islam. In a meeting with an FBI cooperating witness, Chicolo praised the recent terror attack on a beach resort in Tunisia that killed 39 people. According to the FBI affidavit, his quote continues, "Awesome. Awesome. You, that brother in Tunisia, was impressive," Chico allegedly said.
This is ABC News. This is not some blog. This is ABC News.
Unbelievable.
But
It's unbelievable.
We do have this celebration going on.
Yeah. I want to cover one more story, and then we'll focus the rest of the show on Iran, their evil mindset, this ridiculous deal, our Chamberlain moment, so to speak, and we'll show you how they partied down last Friday. They had a big party. I asked you yesterday what you were doing on Friday, Mark,
Yeah,
and
know,
you said you were hanging out at your place watching videos.
And I missed it.
And you missed the Death to America, Death to Israel rally. Oh, just sit at home and watch videos, Mark.
Videos, play video games.
What are
that's
you
all I'm
doing?
I don't know, man.
What are you doing?
Just
Crazy talk. Well, folks, I almost didn't want to cover this story.
What?
I almost didn't want to cover this story because it's so disturbing.
Oh, that I know. Okay, I know which one you're going to.
Let me look it up real quick.
Well, you're talking about the where they tested a device?
Yes, it was the Islamic State trying out some of their explosive capabilities. And here's the headline right here. And it is rather disturbing. Come to my screen if you would.
There you go.
ISIS breaks own cruelty record, blows up baby for demonstration. Arabic media reports say ISIS trainer taught recruits booby-trap methods by blowing up infant child.
Great. You know, I didn't think they could go to another level of barbarity.
I think they just did it.
I think they just did it. You know, and why people on the left are still walking in marches, walking down streets in support of this is just, insane.
How about our guest on last Friday's show, not Dr. Islamofascist Nazi Dr. Kevin Barrett, but Issa Hodge, who went to say that Tom, as an Islamophobe, is no different than ISIS other than the beheadings. First of all, beheadings are kind of a big difference between someone that does and doesn't do them. But it's like, my vehicle is just like a new Ferrari, other than it's a 5-speed mountain bike. They have wheels. What's the difference? Here's a little bit out of this disturbing article. The booby-trapping of the baby was a training mission for ISIS to teach its elements the booby-trapping mechanisms, according to Sadiq al-Husseini, head of the security committee in Diyala province. Al-Husseini claims the baby's father had been arrested and swiftly executed for killing several ISIS militants. It is unclear what happened to the baby's mother. Any guesses?
I'm sure she was, maybe
I'm sure she's alive.
Oh, yeah, she's probably enslaved, being tortured and raped as we speak.
Exactly. As punishment for its father's attack on ISIS fighters, this is a baby. How do you punish a baby for the act of its father? The baby was brought to the training camp and used as part of a horrific demonstration on assembling booby traps, al-Husseini told Iraqi News. Al-Husseini commented, the organization does not care for the most basic human values. I would say that's a pretty fair assumption.
Yeah, yep.
The appalling child abuse is not the first time ISIS, Islamic State, have used children as part of their war strategy. Islamic State have frequently used teenage fighters as suicide bombers, with several 14-year-old boys being radicalized into detonating trucks of explosives near enemy lines.
And there's video of this, but we're not going to show it to you. No, I'm not going to show that. I mean, that's just...
there's our moment of ISIS for the day. I think they set a new low water mark.
If you think, beheadings are barbaric, but this, blowing up a baby... It plummets to new depths is what it does. Absolutely plummets to new depths. I do have a 1-minute clip here about the celebration that they're having.
Yes, let's get into that. It is 4:31 p.m. Eastern Time on the East Coast. You are listening to Enemies of the State. Normally it's Tom Trento sitting where I'm sitting. My name is Damon Rosen. We got Mark behind the glass running the show. Tom is away on special assignment. You're listening to 740 WSBR Radio in sunny South Florida. And again, redstatetalkradio.com, midnights Eastern Time. If you want to watch the show, which is really the way to do it, go to theunitedwest.org. Again, that's theunitedwest.org. And if you want to catch any of our old shows, any of our old videos, go to youtube.com/theunitedwest. Now, back to Al-Quds Day, which, for those of you who don't know, Mark, do you have that video that kind of describes what Al-Quds Day is before we show the party down?
Now, understanding that this was Al-Quds Day was started by Iran, and they had this Al-Quds Day last Friday right in the middle of the Iranian negotiations.
On the deadline day.
On the deadline day.
I mean, the third deadline day, which, I think we signed it on the fifth deadline day. But as the pens are getting ready to hit paper, as the last little small fine print is getting finalized, we're going to show you what goes on in Iran. What the supreme leader of Iran has to say about Israel and America. It's unbelievable. If you have the video that gives a little bit of a brief history on Al-Quds, we'll play that
one. Got it.
And then we'll go ahead and play the party.
Are preparing to hold rallies throughout the world to mark International Quds Day. The demonstrators are taking to the streets to express solidarity with Palestinians. They want the liberation of Palestine from the
Look at the massive crowds.
International
Millions
Quds
of
Day
Muslims.
is considered an international day of struggle against Israel and for liberation of Jerusalem Al-Quds from the occupying regime. The day is also seen as a legacy of the late founder of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Imam Khomeini, who officially declared the last Friday of the holy month of Ramadan as International Quds Day back in 1979.
Beautiful. Now
this actually reminds me, Damon, of the Nuremberg rallies before Hitler came to power. I mean, this is this anti-Jew hate fest, go ahead, Dave.
Anti-American. It's not just Israel. People, you got to understand, even though this country, our country, the United States of America, the greatest country on the face of the earth, signed this deal, it does not make us safe. This deal does not make the United States safe. Because Israel is one of the few Western countries, and I call them a Western country because they operate on Judeo-Christian principles, just because they are the only one voicing a massive concern does not mean that they are the only ones threatened by this. All society, all of mankind is threatened by a genocidal regime hell-bent on an end-of-times eschatology. It's just not going to work. Israel is not the only potential victim of an Iranian nuclear program. It's all of us. Each and every one of us. You, your kids, your grandkids. Every single person is put at risk by this nonsensical policy. So let's go ahead and play what happened in Iran last Friday, and then we're going to bring in the video of Tom's interview that we taped just prior to starting the taping of the show today.
The Death to America.
Death to America. Let's see it.
A car loaded with bombs exploded this morning outside the United States Embassy in Beirut, Lebanon.
The group is believed to be pro-Iranian.
19 American airmen were killed while they slept at the Khobar Towers complex in Saudi Arabia.
2 American embassies blown up in East Africa minutes apart.
An explosion claimed the lives of at least 4 sailors on one of our naval vessels.
These are all Iranian attacks, by the way.
The chairman of the House Intelligence Committee tells Fox that all signs point to Iranian-linked terrorists.
Iran and Hezbollah has now provided expertise to the insurgents.
In front of a crowd chanting "Death to America," Iran's Ayatollah Khamenei agreed.
This is 2015 right there.
You're right there. And these are and this video right here, what we're playing, is the rally where they're actually screaming "Death to America" in this rally. And look at all the pictures of the Iranian protests, Iranian flags, Iranian crowds getting violent. And
clamoring
like
to get next to former President Ahmadinejad, like he's a hero.
Now listen. And they'll be screaming "Death to America, Death to Israel" right in this rally just last Friday in the streets.
Burning of the United States flag, burning of the Israeli flag.
That's the "Death to America's" chants and everything like that. And it's just amazing. All these clears, and there's that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good
you have
one.
the Israeli flag portrayed with a skull in the center and bones
with a little kid holding
making the lines of the Israeli flag, like portraying Israel as a death machine. Down with the USA. This is last Friday.
Death to
Die Israel.
Die Israel, right. More Die Israel, more Death to America, all these guys,
And this is last Friday. This is an event. Al-Quds Day is an Iranian national holiday. It's like our 4th of July.
It really is.
Only they chant for death to America and death to Israel. Let's bring in the interview that we taped earlier today.
Yep.
With Tom Trento on assignment somewhere in I don't know where.
No.
Racket, and let's see what Tom had to say about this bogus deal.
The piece that we were... Hold on, keep it rolling.
No, Damon, stop. Wrong piece.
See, you just got to watch the sausage get made.
Well, you get to hear it, actually. Go ahead, let me cue it. Let me find it. I thought I had the right one. Go ahead. Give me some filler here, David.
Yeah, Mark started the tape a little bit early. We had Tom on, and we were just, that was pre-Tom doing it. That was us talking to him.
Oh, go ahead. I got to find it here.
Okay, while Mark's looking at that, I want to let you, here's something else that's just unbelievable. Hassan Nasrallah is the leader of Hezbollah, probably the world's foremost Islamic terrorist group. Leader of Hezbollah, it is a Shia group, okay, meaning the Iranian Shias.
Okay.
They are busy helping Assad stay in power for as long as that might last. But listen to this, Nasrallah. Nuke deal helps Iran back Palestinian resistance. Hezbollah chief says agreement will raise Tehran's regional standing, defends decision to hit Israel from Lebanon in January. So let me ask you this. If the deal makes Hassan Nasrallah happy, the leader of Hezbollah, should that not make every free man in Western civilization worry? Well, should that not raise questions that if the head of Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, is ecstatic about this deal, maybe it's not so good for the rest of us?
Well, also, you have to understand, not only was Nasrallah really happy about it.
So was Putin.
Putin was ecstatic about it. He's like, oh my God, I get to sell billions of dollars worth of weapons to Iran now? This is, he is just here, and here's the article right here, and let me bring it up full screen for you guys.
Yep, go ahead.
This is amazing. Well,
anyway, sorry. Here you go. There it is. Nasrallah, nuke deal helps Iran back Palestinian resistance.
Well, I was talking about the Putin article.
The Putin. Yeah, go ahead and bring it up.
This is incredibly amazing. Putin is really ecstatic because he helped write the deal. He loves it. Billions of dollars in arms sales. Now it's allowed to Iran via Putin.
So do the Chinese love it.
Yeah.
Only our biggest ideological foe, politically, not religiously, Russia, and China, economically, our biggest. They love the deal. Hassan Nasrallah loves the deal.
Everybody, all the bad guys love the deal.
The bad guys love it. Netanyahu, and listen, this is the first time I have ever seen Israeli leaders from all of the different parties, from the left to the right to the center. The first time I've seen them all agree on the same topic ever. They are all upset with this deal. The only Jewish group I know of that is okay with this is an American faux Jewish group. It is a pretend Jewish group that has nothing more than the destruction of Israel in its frame. And that is J Street.
J Street loves the deal.
J Street hails Iran nuclear deal, praises Obama. Ultra-liberal group parrots Obama administration line. That deal verifiably blocks each of Iran's pathways to nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
For any of you liberal Jews out there that support J Street, stop immediately. Send your money to theunitedwest.org.
Yeah, right.
If you love Israel. If you hate Israel, just denounce your Judaism and go join J Street.
Right.
But for Jews that actually love Israel, for Zionist Christians, you got to realize J Street is a joke. This deal is a joke. Now let's hear it from Tom Trento.
Assignment right now, but I'm sure that you are well aware of the P5+1 agreement with the Iranians on their nuclear program. Go ahead and give us your opinion of what has taken place today, please.
Yeah, we're the sun is setting, where I may be right now, and this is a historic day, a day of infamy in many real respects. The 14th of July, 2015, will go down as a very, very bad day. In fact, comparable, and we've used this many times, Damon and Mark, many times, comparable to 1938 when Neville Chamberlain returned with that piece of paper and said, "We have a deal, we have a deal." And we've looked over the past couple of weeks with President Clinton waving around saying, "I got a great deal with the North Koreans." This is a disaster on all levels. Of course, we haven't read the 100 pages yet, but the fact that what President Obama had said would be red lines, this guy doesn't know the color red, 2 years ago, now have vaporized, indicate clearly this is a very bad deal for America, for Israel, for the West. In fact, well, let me stop there if you guys have any questions. Then I want to share one insight with you, and then I got to tell you something that unique. I was contacted yesterday. Something unique on the 22nd, July 22nd, Wednesday is going to happen, and we're involved fundamentally with it on this issue.
Yeah, I got a question, Tom. The 4 American hostages that are over there, that was not even a negotiating point, and we just saw Jay Sekulow come on earlier during the day, and Hoppy mad about this. I mean, give us your thoughts about that.
Yeah, obviously the Iranians are holding Americans, and many people wanted that part of the deal. I wouldn't move too quickly on that. We may see a rope-a-dope here, where in a week or two, out of the goodness of their hearts, the Iranians release 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, whatever the number is. I know there's at least one. And all of this was pre-planned by John Kerry, who is sniffing. The guy recognizes that 40 years of public service, he's been basically a rich failure and a deserter in Vietnam, in many respects. He now wants his sense of fame. He's sniffing that Nobel Prize. That's what he wants. Oh, okay. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's orchestrated where he flies back and forth with some, transcontinental diplomacy and flies home with 1, 2, or 3 of these individuals. So that wouldn't surprise me as part of this whole negotiated scam.
Damon, you got anything?
No, I'm sure we're going to cover it. I'm sure Tom will hit all the major points that we need to cover. And I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more coming out over the course of the next day and two once people actually get to read what is in the deal and, more importantly, maybe what is not in the deal.
So what's this event you're talking about, Tom?
Well, the event, and then I'll tell you about my insight into the negotiating conclusions. The event is on July 22nd, which is 1 week from tomorrow, Wednesday. Today's the 14th. And it's a rally, actually a national rally The main one is being held in Manhattan. There'll be thousands of people there, some keynote speakers like Frank Gaffney, Claire Lopez, friends of ours, General Paul Vallely, Alan Dershowitz, others. Stop Iran. Bad deal. Stop Iran. Kill this deal. Force the United States Congress to kill the deal and reinstitute tough sanctions on Iran and negotiate from a tough position of strength, not weakness. That's what the rally in New York is all about. Well, the idea was so good that it caught on in other venues, and one is going to be held in Fort Lauderdale at the infamous corner of 3rd and Broward at 5:30 p.m. on the 22nd of July. The United West will be deeply involved with the organizers of it. Maria Lima, she's the organizer of it, and a couple of others will be moderating it. I'll be one of the speakers. Joe Kaufman will be there. The Vaughns will be there. Karen and Billy. I think Wild Bill for America will be there. Several other key speakers, all of whom will be pressuring the United States government, Congress, in fact, to kill this deal and to force President Obama to get back to the table to renegotiate from a position of strength, not weakness. So we want everybody showing up 22nd July, 5:30 in the afternoon, 3rd and Broward.
And you said you were going to share something else?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this for a long time. We're not surprised. We knew that some phony, baloney, bogus deal that favors Iran would be constructed because President Obama has shifted allegiances from the Sunni side of the ledger to the Shia side through the direction of Valerie Jarrett, Iranian-born brain for President Obama. And I was thinking that if I were the advisor to Khomeini or to Zarif, to any of the leaders on the negotiating side, right now I'd be popping non-alcoholic champagne with them, telling them, fabulous job, guys. Just a couple of years ago, you were persona non grata in the world community. Now you are the heroes. You have given up so much of what every other country deems as their right, the right to nuclear power. All the fact that you guys have been viewed and are competing and participating in terrorism has become incidental. Now America has capitulated to your demands, essentially. Here's what I want you to do from here. Now, here's how I would advise Khomeini and the others from here. I'd say we don't stop right here. We're going to do a North Korea on America, where North Korea, the American public and Clinton administration felt that sufficient restrictions and inspections were in place. We're going to do the same thing. We've built into this agreement, the new agreement that came out on the 14th today, enough vagueness, enough obscurity, enough obfuscation, enough ability to see it clearly that whenever there's a question on the West's part, we'll delay. It's all part of the process. But what I want you guys to do now is exactly what North Korea did. Rush right now. Start moving to get to a short breakout period where you can actually test the bomb. We've got to get to the point to test the bomb before November 8th, 2016. Once we get out of the Obama administration into a Republican administration, which it looks pretty good that would happen, then we got a different paradigm for geopolitics. We need Obama on our side when we test. So we got to test the bomb before November 8th, 2016. Reason is very simple. Once we do that, fait accompli. We're now a nuclear power, and we go, oh, we're sorry. And there will be no, just like with North Korea, there's not going to be any more restrictions, anything like that, because we'll threaten crazy stuff like North Korea did. And the world's going to say, look, let's learn to live with them. They're reasonable enough. They're not going to use it. They just want to be protected from Israel, who has a bunch of nuclear weapons. That's the strategy. I would tell the Ayatollahs right now, and they get their Persian bomb, they get control of the Middle East, they get control of the United States, and they get Obama as a friend, saying, I'm very disappointed in you, but we understand the situation, and we can't have war because that's unacceptable.
And not just with the Iranians, also with the Russians. The Russians have been given a blank check to fund all kinds of arms, to to Iran now. And so they can have all their scientists, nuclear scientists, come there and help them perfect the bomb and actually get to testing all the other things you're talking about.
And to add the Israeli component in, the Israelis have phenomenal intelligence within Iran. So if they see them getting to a point of a short breakout, or they're increasing, they have enough material on hand to build a bomb. Believe me, you think they're dopes, they're going to hand it all over. If the Israelis identify this and strike their facilities, imagine next summer, right around now, the Israelis say, all right, we got to hit them now. They've developed their, the mother of all bombs, all of these things. And they hit 3 or 4 of their facilities to set them back 3 or 4 years. And a war breaks out, which there will be a war. What do you think Obama's going to do next summer when Kerry's about to be handed a Nobel Peace Prize? Israel's going to be completely ostracized, and the United States is going to be split over Israel. That's why we here at the United West have been working so hard to mobilize Zionists, Jewish Zionists, Christian Zionists, to stand with Israel, that key point in history. And all of you out there that have been helping us, we need your support, financial support and emotional support and geopolitical support now to prepare for that inevitable day that's going to come when Israel strikes before November 8, 2016. Remember that. All right, guys, I got to get back to what we're doing over here.
Yeah. Say hi to all the people in Vienna for us. Oh, I'm sorry, you're not there. That's right.
I'm not in Vienna. The hotel that the negotiations are taking place in was the same hotel that hosted Hitler.
Oh, that is so perfect.
Yeah,
that's too funny.
Not too many people know about that, but no, I'm not in Vienna.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
All right, Tom.
Later.
Thanks. Have a good assignment.
Guys.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Here. Bye.
There you have it from our intrepid leader himself out on assignment. And his opinion of this horrendous P5+1 deal with the Iranians in regard to their nuclear program.
And I want to bring up one quick point that we didn't bring up yet, is in this deal, the Obama administration, they're going to release $100 billion of frozen Iranian assets. What do you think they're going to do with that $100 billion, Damon?
I don't know, maybe unfurl a little more unrest in Yemen, Syria, Lebanon. Maybe they'll get back to their old ways of blowing up Jewish facilities in South America now that the cash is plush, right?
That's right.
For anyone who's not familiar with that, Iran was behind a couple of bombings in Argentina that were rather gruesome. But Tom's not the only guy.
That's right.
That's a little upset with this nuclear deal. Let's hear it from the leader of the great state of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu.
Amazingly, this bad deal does not require Iran to cease its aggressive behavior in any way. By not dismantling Iran's nuclear program, in a decade this deal will give an unreformed, unrepentant, and far richer terrorist regime the capacity to produce many nuclear bombs, in fact an entire nuclear arsenal with the means to deliver it. What a stunning, historic mistake.
Well said.
Yep.
Israel is not bound by this deal with Iran, and Israel is not bound by this deal with Iran because Iran continues to seek our destruction. We will always defend ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Benjamin Netanyahu. Yeah. Basically, what he said right there, folks, is that Israel is not bound by the terms of this agreement. He will defend his people, the Jewish people of the state of Israel and the non-Jewish people of the state of Israel. But his priority is Israel's survival, not some bogus deal that allows Iran a clear path to the nuclear bomb while enriching them with tens, if not, Mark just showed you an article, up to $100 billion. What does Iran do with all their money? They don't lavish it upon their citizenry. They buy military equipment for themselves. They buy military equipment for their proxies, such as Hezbollah, such as the Houthis in Yemen. Nothing good is going to come of this, and that I can guarantee you.
And you look at what, and people are, well, what could Israel do? What could Israel do with all this? Well, you have all these targets that are out there, not even the underground targets. You have the Iran nuclear facilities. You have all these different targets that I'm showing you on the screen here. The one at the research center, the heavy water reactor at Iraq, the Natanz fuel enrichment plant. All these things in a nanosecond could go, and they don't even need the GUB-58 bunker busters to get rid of a lot of these things. The uranium mines, they could take out 90% of the Iranian nuclear facilities, like the uranium conversion facility, all these ones that we're talking about, the Fertile enrichment plant, all these targets are available to Israel. So don't think that they have to have these super duper busts or bunker bombs to get to these things. They could wipe out the majority of their production facilities in a heartbeat with just conventional weapons. So they have a lot of options. Don't think that the Israel's is suddenly handcuffed on weapons technology.
Well, they might not be handcuffed on the technology. What they will be handcuffed by is the United States Obama administration.
Right.
That is the primary handcuffing being done. Trust me, Israel is rather sophisticated technologically speaking. I'm sure everyone saw the Iron Dome at work last year in the war with Hamas in Gaza. The Iron Dome is able to shoot missiles out of the sky that are incoming. Well, now they just had a successful test of David Sling. David Sling could take out up to 100 incoming missiles at once.
And plus, a David Sling protects against the intermediate ballistic missiles that Iran has, they have. And so that type of system is a great advancement on to the Iron Dome. So Israel does have that technology at its available. It should be operational deployable, sometime this year or next year. And so
again, that's a defensive. Right. David Sling is a defensive thing. Israel uses missiles to defend its citizens. Hamas uses citizens to defend its missiles.
Right. True.
As human shields. David Sling is a completely defensive mechanism. We only have about 2.5 minutes left in the show. Something that Tom wanted us to bring up, and something that is extremely important. If you'll come to my screen on Wednesday, July 22nd, if you are in the Northeast, go to New York City, go to Times Square.
42nd and 7th Avenue.
5:30 p.m. on Wednesday, July 22nd. That is a week from tomorrow. Now, if you are in our home market in South Florida, if you are in Miami, Broward, Palm Beach, Martin County, this is the Stop Iran Now rally for peace through strength. Okay? Peace through strength. The flyer on your screen right there is for the New York rally. In South Florida, there is going to be an amazing rally. And for all you Tea Partiers and all you pro-Israel people over the years, you know the corner well. It's going to be 3rd Avenue and Broward Boulevard in downtown Fort Lauderdale. Same time, same date. 5:30 p.m., Wednesday, July 22nd. That's a week from tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Bring your American flags, your Israeli flags. Bring your voices. Be heard.
Right. Tell them that you
be
do
heard.
Right.
It's now time to start calling your congressman. Tom said don't do it yet last week, 2 weeks ago, before there was a deal signed. Now there's a deal signed. Right. Now it is time to contact your congressmen, your senators, and let them know that you want this deal stopped. And of course, that's going to be much easier said than done, because the Obama administration is going to say this is not a treaty, and that Congress does not have the ability to reject it. And even if they did reject it, he would veto the rejection, and there's probably not enough votes to override his veto. Chances are this deal is going to get signed as is. It doesn't mean that you don't make your voice heard. This is America. This is a representative republic. It is your duty as pro-Americans, as pro-Israelis, Christian, Jew, Buddhist. If you love this country, if you love humanity, you cannot allow Iran to go nuclear. And that is exactly what this deal allows for. So come on out next Friday, July 22nd, 5:30 p.m., downtown Fort Lauderdale, Broward Boulevard and 3rd Avenue. If you're in the Northeast, Times Square, 42nd Street and 7th Ave. Everyone up there knows who that is. Yeah. Important to be there, important to make your voice heard. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Tom, thanks for letting Mark and I handle it while you are away. And have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow.